Your thoughts on what our next guest has to say. A blasphemy law. Now, we did used to have blasphemy laws on the blasphemy laws, say it correctly, in this country, and then we got rid of them. Well, why? Because, well, actually, freedom of speech means that you should be able to criticise religion. And we do criticise religion in this country all the time, don't we? Although criticising and laughing about and mocking Christianity, absolutely fine and acceptable. Even, it would appear, according to the Metropolitan Police, blatant anti-Semitism appears to be acceptable these days, outrageously. But when it comes to one particular religion, that appears to be a problem. And we've seen this, have we not, with the Batley Grammar School teacher who just simply was discussing the issue of the Mohammed cartoons when he was basically forced into hiding by a mob threatening his death. We've also seen it with a film about Mohammed's wives, which led to mobs of people outside cinemas. We've seen it in many, many different cases. And now we've seen a Labour MP standing up in the House of Commons and asking Keir Starmer to bring in a blasphemy law to stop the desecration of religious texts and abuse of the prophets of Christianity, Islam and Judaism. Let's talk about this with Mohammed Amin. He's former chairman of the Conservative Muslim Forum and joins us now. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Julia.
Thank you very much indeed for joining us. I have to say, I was really shocked when I saw this. This is Tahir Ali. He's a Labour MP for Birmingham, Hall Green and Moseley. And he urged action, cautioning about the acts of mindless desecration that risk fueling division and hatred within our society. Should we or should we not have a blasphemy law? Because I have to say, Keir Starmer's answer was pretty, I don't know, should we say vague on whether or not he agreed or disagreed with the blasphemy law?
Well, first of all, Julia, I agree with you. Keir Starmer was vague, and I think he was trying to avoid upsetting anybody, which
that's the trouble,
sometimes is sensible, sometimes it's not sensible. I think he should have given a clear lead, and my view categorically is we should not have any blasphemy law.
Yeah, it's really very simple, isn't it? It's like sort of, you know, the American flag, and people get upset about people burning the American flag. I don't think it's a good thing to do, to burn a nation's flag, whether it's yours or anyone else's, but I don't think it should be illegal. I mean, certainly, I wouldn't dream of damaging or burning any book at all. I would be horrified by that, let alone a religious text that was meaningful to other people. That would be simply because of matter of public decency and politeness, I would have thought. But I would defend the right of anyone to do so if they felt necessary to do so. And what is fascinating is we've actually had some people who, in other countries, I mean, Sweden has been battling this, Denmark, other countries, where we're actually talking about people who have left, in particular, the religion of Islam, and they have, you know, burnt, desecrated the Quran, and they have faced death threats. We've had threats of fatwas from Muslim-dominated, Muslim-majority countries as well. But this only seems to happen with one religion. Mocking the Bible, mocking, you know, the Old Testament, you know, the texts for Judaism. No, apparently that's absolutely fine. It's only one particular religious book and only one particular prophet that this is an issue for.
Well, first of all, I agree with you. Burning, desecrating other people's religious texts is silly, it's downright rude, but there's no way it should be illegal. If you want to burn a book, provided you own the copy and you're not creating a fire hazard or a smoke hazard, that's up to you. It's just silly behaviour. And the question of who gets upset most, I mean, at the moment, most of the famous incidents that we're aware of have involved Muslims, but I'm sure you could find people of other religions who would also get extremely upset if you desecrated their religious texts in front of them.
I think also, I mean, like the extreme sort of right, the Christian right in America, I think we have some instances about their view on the Bible. But in this country, the only instances I'm aware of are in relation to the Quran and to Prophet, you know, the Muslim Prophet Mohammed, and that's where it becomes an issue, because this MP says, look, this is causing division and hatred, but we are effectively living with a blasphemy law de facto already, are we not? Because people who would defend the right to do that simply don't do it because they see what happens to the Batley Grammar School teacher. We've got a case in France right now, Samir Paty, who was hunted down and beheaded because of what he did in his lessons in France. No insult intended, but he was beheaded. We saw what happened to those, Charlie Hebdo, for putting a cartoon of Mohammed on. We know what the outcome is. That's a de facto blasphemy law anyway, isn't it?
Timothy Garton Ash calls it, I think, the assassin's veto. Such behaviour is entirely wrong. I think it needs to be punished, but also Muslim religious leaders need to give a clearer, categorical statement themselves that this is entirely wrong. There are plenty of Muslims who have written saying absolutely there is no need for any kind of blasphemy rules anywhere in the world. There's a very famous article book called God Needs No Defense. The leader of Indonesia's largest Muslim organization, the largest Muslim organization in the world, came out categorically against blasphemy about 20 years.
But again, those voices perhaps don't get heard in some of the debate here. Mohammed, Amin, thank you for joining us, former chair of the Conservative Muslim Forum. I've left very little time for him, so I'm going to ask you about this after the top of the hour, because it's too important a subject, I think, to actually just do in just a couple of seconds. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, because we have a de facto blasphemy law, but only for one religion in this country.